Once upon a time, there was a poor boy named Samuel. He lived in a small village near a wide river. His house was made of weak wood and old metal sheets that shook when the wind blew. When it rained, water dropped from the roof into small bowls his mother placed on the floor. In winter, cold air entered through the broken windows, and the family slept close together to stay warm. Samuel lived there with his mother and little sister. His father had died when he was very young, and Samuel barely remembered his face. But he remembered the feeling of his father's strong hands holding his. His mother worked very hard washing clothes for other families. Her hands were always red and rough from soap and cold water. She woke up before sunrise and returned home after sunset. Even though her body was tired, she always smiled at her children and said softly, "We may be poor in money, but we must be rich in heart." Samuel never forgot those words. They lived deep inside him. At school, Samuel did not have new books or colorful pens like the other children. He collected old notebooks that students threw away and carefully used the empty spaces. Sometimes he erased old writing just to make room for his own. Some children laughed at him. "Look at his shoes," one boy shouted. "They are full of holes." The class laughed loudly. Samuel felt his face burn. His eyes filled with tears, but he refused to let them fall. He looked down at his broken shoes and quietly told himself, "One day, I will change my life. One day, they will see." Every afternoon after school, Samuel worked at the town market. He carried heavy bags that were almost bigger than his body. His small hands became rough. His shoulders ached. Sometimes, when no one was watching, he closed his eyes for a moment because he felt so tired. But every evening, he placed the little money he earned into his mother's hands. She would look at him with tears in her eyes. "You are still a child," she would whisper. Samuel would smile and say, "I am strong, Mother." At night, while his sisters slept peacefully, Samuel studied under a small lamp. When there was no electricity, he used a candle. The small flame danced in the dark room, and his shadow moved on the wall as he turned the pages. Sometimes he felt sleepy. Sometimes he felt lonely. But he kept reading. He kept trying. One day, his teacher, Mrs. Thompson, noticed him staying after school again. "Samuel," she asked gently, "why do you work so hard?" "Why?" He hesitated for a moment, then answered honestly, "Ma'am, I want to become successful. I want my mother to rest. I want my sister to study without worry." "I do not." Mrs. Thompson's eyes became soft. She saw not just a poor boy, but a brave heart full of determination. From that day, she helped him more. She gave him extra lessons and extra books. For the first time, Samuel felt that someone truly believed in him. But life was not finished testing him. When Samuel was 15, his mother became very sick. She was too weak to stand. The doctor said she needed medicine and rest things that cost money. The family had none. Samuel felt fear like never before. He worked longer hours at the market. His body felt heavy. Some days, he missed school. At night, he sat beside his mother's bed and held her hand. One night, feeling overwhelmed, he walked to the river alone. The moonlight reflected on the water. He sat down and cried silently. "Maybe this is my fate," he whispered. "Maybe success is not for people like me." But then he remembered his mother's voice. "We must be rich in heart." He wiped his tears. His pain slowly turned into strength. "I will not stop," he said firmly. "I will fight." From that day, Samuel became even stronger. He woke up earlier. He worked harder. He studied whenever he found even a few free minutes. He was exhausted, but he refused to give up. Slowly, his mother recovered. Years later, Samuel finished high school with excellent grades. When he received a scholarship letter for university, his hands were shaking. His mother hugged him tightly and cried not tears of sadness, but tears of pride. In the city, life was frightening. Tall buildings made him feel small. Rich students spoke confidently. Samuel felt like he did not belong. In his first month, he failed an important exam. When he saw the result, his heart dropped. That night, he packed his bag. He felt ashamed and broken. But then he looked at his mother's photo. He saw her tired hands. He remembered the market, the laughter of classmates, the cold nights. "I did not come this far to quit," he said through tears. He unpacked his bag. He created a study plan. He asked questions, even when he felt embarrassed. He worked in a cafe to support himself. Some nights, he slept only 4 hours, but slowly, his grades improved. Each small success gave him confidence. Each failure taught him a lesson. After graduation, many companies rejected him. Each rejection felt like a door closing in his face. But he refused to let those doors define him. Instead, he opened his own small grocery shop. At first, customers were few. Some days, he earned almost nothing. But he treated every customer with kindness and respect. He remembered how it felt to struggle, so he was always patient. Slowly, people began to trust him. Years passed. One shop became two. Two became three. His business grew, but his heart remained humble. One day, he returned to his old school as a guest speaker. He stood in the same classroom where he had once been laughed at. He looked at the students and saw himself in some of their eyes. "I was poor," he said softly. "I was afraid. I failed many times, but I never stopped trying." Success is not magic. It is small efforts repeated every single day. The room was silent. Some students had tears in their eyes. That evening, Samuel walked to the river again, the same river where he had once cried in fear. Now, he stood tall and calm. He realized something important. His journey was not just about becoming rich. It was about becoming strong. It was about love, sacrifice, courage, and hope. And so, the poor boy who once studied under a candle became a successful man, not because life was easy, but because he refused to break. Success is not about where you start. It is about how deeply you believe, how bravely you fight, and how patiently you continue when life becomes hard. Pain can either stop you or shape you. If you choose courage over fear and persistence over quitting, you can change your life. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please like and share it with your friends and family. You never know who might need this message today. Remember, hard times do not define you. Your courage does. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward.